I found my dead wife's journal 4 years ago. One entry was dated 10 years before she died. It said, "I don't think he sees me anymore. I don't think he knows who I am. And I don't think he cares to know." I was married to her for 46 years, and I had no idea she felt that way.
My name is Robert. I'm 78 years old, and I need to tell you something before one of us runs out of time. If you're in your 20s, if you're married or thinking about getting married, you're about to make the same mistake I did, and you won't even know it's happening. Not until it's too late. I met Linda in the summer of 1972. I was 24. She was wearing a yellow sundress at a friend's barbecue. I can still see it. She was laughing, loud, unself-conscious, like she didn't care who heard her. I wasn't like that. I was quiet, careful. I didn't laugh like that. That's what I loved about her.
We got married a year later. Small church outside Pittsburgh. Her parents, my parents, maybe 20 people total. We didn't need anything big. And for the first few years, it was good.
We rented a cramped apartment where the radiator clanged all winter. I worked at a manufacturing plant. She worked part-time at a dentist's office. We didn't have money, but we didn't need it. Sunday dinners at her parents' house, pot roast, small talk, driving home with the windows down.
But somewhere around year 5, something shifted. I didn't notice it happening. That's the thing. It was small, invisible. One night, Linda came home from work and sat down at the kitchen table without saying anything. I was reading the paper. I looked up. "Long day?" She nodded. I went back to the paper. That's it. That's all it took. I didn't ask what happened. I didn't ask if she was okay. I just assumed she'd tell me if it mattered. And here's the thing. I did that all the time. I assumed she knew I loved her. Because I went to work. Because I paid the bills. Because I didn't cheat. Didn't drink. Didn't yell. I thought that was what being a good husband meant. But I wasn't paying attention. We had 2 kids by then, a boy and a girl. Linda stayed home with them. I worked longer hours. Weekends, I'd be in the garage fixing things, mowing the lawn, watching football. I thought I was doing what I was supposed to do. One Saturday afternoon, I'll never forget this, I was out in the garage working on something. Linda came out and stood in the doorway. She didn't say anything at first, just stood there. I looked up. "Need something?" She paused. Then she said, "Do you ever think about us
didn't know what she meant. I said, "What do you mean?" She looked at me for a long time. Then she shook her head. "Never mind." And she went back inside. I went back to whatever I was doing. I didn't think about it again. Not for years. But I think about it now. More than anything else. Because I know what she was really asking. She was asking, "Do you still see me? Do you still think about who I am? Do you still care about what I feel?" She was asking if we were still real to each other. And I didn't even understand the question.
The kids got older. High school, college, they moved out, and suddenly it was just the two of us again. Except it wasn't like the beginning. In the beginning, we'd talk for hours. We'd stay up late because we didn't want the night to end. Now, we had nothing to say.
I'd come home. She'd be making dinner. "How was your day?" "Fine. Mine too." That's it. Eat, clean up, watch TV, go to bed. I told myself it was normal. I told myself this is what happens after 20, 30 years of marriage. The excitement fades. You settle into routines. That's just life.
One Tuesday night, I remember it was a Tuesday because there was a game on. We were sitting in the living room. She was reading. I was watching TV. She closed her book, looked at me, and said, "Robert, do you think we're happy?" I froze. I didn't know what to say. "What do you mean?" "I mean, are you happy with this, with us?"
Something tightened in my chest. I said, "I don't know what you're asking." She stared at me for a long time. Then she said, "I know." And she went upstairs. I sat there. I didn't follow her. I didn't go up and ask what she meant. I just sat there. And I told myself she was fine, that whatever it was, it would pass.
A few months later, she told me she wanted to spend some time at her sister's house. Just for a little while, she said, to think. I didn't argue. I told myself it was fine, that she just needed space. She left on a Saturday morning. I helped her carry her bag to the car. She hugged me. It felt stiff, formal, like hugging a coworker. She said, "I'll call you." I said, "Okay," and she drove away. She stayed there for 3 weeks. We talked on the phone a few times. Short conversations. Surface level. I didn't ask when she was coming back. I didn't ask what she was thinking. I didn't ask if we were okay. I was afraid of the answer. When she finally came home, she was different, quieter, more distant. But we didn't talk about it. We just went back to the routines. I thought time would fix it. It didn't. 4 years ago, Linda had a stroke. Sudden. No warning. 1 minute she was here. The next, she wasn't. I didn't get to say goodbye. After she died, I was going through her things. I found a journal in her nightstand. I don't know why I looked. Maybe I was hoping to feel close to her again. I sat on the edge of our bed and opened it. The pages were dated, scattered thoughts over the years. Then I saw one entry. It was from about 10 years before she died.
It said, "I don't think he sees me anymore. I don't think he knows who I am. And I don't think he cares to know." I had to stop reading. I sat on the edge of our bed and couldn't breathe. Because she was right. I didn't see her. I didn't ask her who she was becoming as the years went by. I didn't ask what she wanted, what she dreamed about, what scared her, what made her feel alive. I just assumed she was fine. I assumed our life together was enough. But it wasn't enough. Not for her. And the worst part? I didn't even know. I keep thinking about all the moments I missed. The time she stood in the garage doorway and asked if I ever thought about us. The time she asked if we were happy. The time she went to her sister's house for 3 weeks and I didn't fight for her. All the time she tried to reach me and I didn't reach back. All the times I could have stopped what I was doing, looked at her and said, tell me what you're really feeling." But I didn't. I thought marriage was about being there, physically, showing up, paying bills, not cheating, not yelling. I thought that was enough. But I wasn't really there. Not in the way that mattered. The mistake I made wasn't one big thing. It wasn't an affair. It wasn't abuse. It wasn't screaming matches or throwing plates. It was 1,000 small things. 1,000 moments where I chose comfort over connection. 1,000 times I assumed instead of asked. 1,000 times I said fine instead of tell me more. And those small things, they add up. Until one day, you're 78 years old, sitting alone in an empty house, reading words your wife wrote because she had no one to say them to. Marriage isn't something you finish. It's not something you achieve and then stop working on. It's something you choose every single day. And choosing it means more than just staying. It means staying awake, staying curious, staying present. It means asking the hard questions. Are you happy? What do you need from me? What are you scared of? What do you want that you're not saying? And it means listening when they answer. Really listening. Not planning your response. Not defending yourself. Not dismissing it. Just listening. Because people aren't static. They grow. They change. They need different things at different times. And if you're not paying attention, you miss it. I missed it. I spent 46 years married to Linda, and I don't know if she felt loved for most of them. I don't know if she felt seen. I don't know if she felt like I chose her every day, or if she just felt like I got used to her being there. And I'll never know now. That's the thing about time. You think you have more of it than you do. You think you'll have the conversation later. You think you'll fix it when things calm down. You think they'll always be there, but they won't. One day,
They're gone, and all you're left with is the memory of all the things you didn't say.
I'm 78 years old. Linda's been gone for 4 years, and I think about her every day. I think about the life we had.
I think about the life we could have had if I'd just paid attention. Don't wait until you're sitting alone with a journal, wishing you'd done things differently. Don't wait until it's too late.